Honduras. Not exactly topping the bucket list of most travelers. The headlines don't do it any favors. Words like dangerous and trouble tend to overshadow everything else. But that's the problem with headlines. They rarely tell the whole story. Lake Yojoa sits there in the heart of Honduras like a secret the tourism industry forgot to exploit. The largest natural lake in the country, surrounded by mountains, coffee farms and cloud forests. This is the Honduras most people never see, where local fishermen glide across mirror-like waters at dawn, where beer is brewed by an American expat who decided, against all conventional wisdom, that this is exactly where he needed to be. People will tell you not to come here. They'll recite crime statistics and warnings from travel advisories. But travel isn't just about stars on hotels or checking iconic landmarks of a list. Sometimes it's about the places between destinations, the corners of the world where tourism hasn't sanded down the rough edges. Lake Yojoa is that kind of place, raw, unpolished, authentic. The kind of place where you remember why you started traveling in the first place. Not to say that you've been somewhere, but to actually be there, present and awake to an experience that couldn't happen anywhere else.
Honduras. Rather unexpectedly, we ended up here. It was not in our plans, but now let's make the most of this country. Probably beautiful. Although we arrived yesterday in a town called San Pedro Sula. This city is the second largest, but is the industrial capital of this country. And thus it produces around 60% of the country's GDP, only in this town. This was once the most dangerous city in the planet. 177 murders per 100,000 people happened in San Pedro Sula. Now, since a couple of years ago, state of exception rules in this country to fight against the maras and all the gangs that operate here. As you can imagine, it feels a bit rough around the edges, and yesterday now was extremely dodgy. But now in the daylight, people are super nice, super friendly, and very, very welcoming. Unfortunately, this is not the reason why we came to Honduras. It's not San Pedro Sula, it was just the first stop. So now we're going to the local bus station, take a local bus that will bring us to Lake Yojoa. So we're in the bus station waiting. This is we don't know when the bus is gonna leave. It's supposed to be now, but we're obviously waiting. But I want to show you something interesting. Many people don't know what the UN does, and they don't understand where the money goes to. But there's a good example here in Honduras. If you're a migrant and you want a safe return back home, you have a phone number you can call. All those migrants that now are migrating from Venezuela or other poor countries up north, mostly to the United States. They have a phone number you can call, and this is a UN agency, it's the United Nations for Migrations, which is based in Geneva, by the way. And you can call a phone number and they will help you come back to your home if you regret taking that journey. So we just bought green mango from one of these vendors that come into the bus. So this is a first for me. The flavor is more like a green apple than a mango, so you have an idea of how it tastes like. It's very, very acidic. Amazing bus ride. €2.50 each, 2 hours, and it was only 30 minutes late. I'll call that a win. And now we are here in Los Naranjos. This town is the main base if you want to explore the Lake Yojoa, where we are very close from now. And the hotel we are staying at, or mostly like a hostel, is called D&D Brewery, and apparently it's in every guide. If you want to visit this part of the country, everyone says go to D&D. Not sure why. I think they started tourism in this part of the country. So let's go and find out why is it so popular, and if it's really a brewery, how good is their beer. Look at that tree, and it has, I'm not sure if it can be seen, but it's all like pink flowers. And look on the ground. That's fantastic. This is one of the most unique hotel entrances I've seen. This is very cool actually. You have the impression of being in the middle of the jungle. I couldn't show you the dorms, obviously, because there's a girl sleeping, although it's 2:10. But yeah, it's very, very cool. I quite like the place so far. Good. I kind of want to try the beer, see how good it is. Because in this area they're trying to promote conservation of natural habitats, most of the activities that you will be able to do are related with ecotourism. So there'll be a lot of hiking, a lot of bird watching, and the one that we're gonna do now, which is kayaking in the lake. The lake that we just entered, Lake Yojoa, is the largest one in Honduras, with about 77 square kilometers or about 30 square miles. And because it's located quite high up, we are at about 700 meters above sea level, it creates a microclimate around this area. To be fair, this is incredibly beautiful. I can't wait to explore all these forests tomorrow, as we do some hiking probably. It is pretty relaxing as well, despite the wind and being in the middle of a lake. If you have seen my videos about Lake Atitlan and Rio Dulce, my previous videos, if not, you should really see them. You will realize how this lake is a bit different from that. It's definitely more off the beaten path than Lake Atitlan and Rio Dulce, but it is incredibly, and I can't emphasize this enough, it is gorgeous. It's incredibly beautiful. If you come to Honduras, if the situation political and with all the mares stabilizes a bit, I think this place has a lot of potential. So if you're coming here, don't miss it, because it's gorgeous. I can't insist more than that. It is beautiful. So yeah, if the situation stabilizes, I think this lake will be a hot spot for tourism maybe in a few years. So seeing it now, well, we are basically alone in the whole lake. It's incredible. It's just such a nice experience. Look at that. The biodiversity in this place has to be incredible. So many species of trees and birds and animals and whatnot. I am really enjoying this. Thumbs up for Lake Yojoa. When we arrived yesterday to the big town, it felt really dodgy, no, I'm not gonna lie. But once that we are here in the countryside, it feels very safe. People are incredibly friendly. And the lake, you've seen it already, is gorgeous. So I'm very happy to be in Honduras. It was not in our plans in the beginning, but I'm happy we came. And I can't wait to explore more of this country. If you feel insecure, okay, skip the big cities. But this, Lake Yojoa, it is beautiful, and people are incredibly friendly. They all say hello, they all have a smile in their faces, they're happy to see you, and they're happy to see tourism coming here. I understand the political situation is not the best, but still, good call. Good morning. We slept really well here. It was beautiful. And I want to show you something pretty unique this morning. I had a shower, and it's a random thing to show, but I want to show you the shower actually, because it's very, very interesting. So basically there's 3 showers in a row, but once you come in, it's totally open. It's totally open. You can see the ants actually running, and you can see also some kind of insects. But the beautiful thing is that you are literally in the middle of nature when having a shower. That is gorgeous. And seeing the sun on your head, that is absolutely spot on. So yeah, so far very impressed with this lodge and brewery. It was very good. The only thing I've heard is not as good, and it feels a bit dishonest in my opinion, is that the prices in the menu, apparently they're without any taxes included. So it will put you a price, and there's no indication in the menu about the TVA, the VAT not being included. It's all added at the end, so you are gonna end up paying 15 or 20% more than you expect to pay. So that feels a bit dishonest. But the rest of the lodge, brewery, restaurant kind of place, it is really good. Now, today what we are intending to do is to visit a waterfall. So come with me, join as we visit one of the many things that we can do here in Lake Yojoa besides the lake itself. As I mentioned before, this area around Lake Yojoa is mostly based on ecotourism and conservation, so it's not surprising to know that most of the activities you can do are based around that model. So is this waterfall that we're gonna be visiting now. It's one of the most popular spots for locals as well, especially on the weekends. This is crowded. Hopefully today will be a bit less busy. It's a Friday and the weather is not too hot, so hopefully we'll be able to be on our own. And if you prefer to be closer to nature and not in the town like we are, there's also some cabins there, so you can stay here overnight as well. The waterfalls are 47 meters high, and you do get wet because there's a lot of steam coming up. This is rather spectacular, and behind them apparently there's some caves that you can come in, but what they say is come with a guide, don't come on your own, because come on, look at that, it's pretty dangerous. It's really hot. You can swim here in the river just above the waterfalls. I can tell you that water is rather cold though. I'm not gonna do it today, unfortunately. Can you see that? There's a massive lizard in there. There's hundreds of them when you're coming to a waterfall or leaving from it. Look at that. It's beautiful. Hello, lizard. Goodbye. Once you get to the visitor center, you can see the map and the different routes you can take. We will be doing the longest one. It's about 7 kilometers long and it will take about 4 to 5 hours to complete. Time to start the trek. I was not expecting to record the video today, but this place looks so cool, honestly. I don't think there's many visitors here and I don't think many people come and visit this park, but it's one of the main ones around Lake Yojoa. Apparently on this trek there's several of these lookup points where you can go and have a look through the jungle. Because we are in the jungle and we're already covered in bites, mosquito repellent is our best friend today. Cough. Look at that. There's a bird in the middle of the track. Can you see it? There's a big one. Hello bird, you will be our guide today. There's over 325 species of bird in just this park, so you can imagine the variety and the depth of the ecosystem here. This park is maintained by a German NGO. You have to pay a ticket to come in. It wasn't cheap, it was 180 lempiras each. But it's also sustained by other institutions like USA. That's gone probably, and unfortunately all that money that is not coming, it will impact the preservation of the park, the animals that live here, and the visitors as well, obviously. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, there's a lot of economic reasons behind it, but it's a shame that places like this that live off foreign aid will have an impact because of just economic reasons. It's a real shame. There's a lot of fauna here, there's a lot of birds, there's a lot of animals that live here, and there's communities that depend on it as well. So, food for thought. Today we are following Sendero Sinai, which is the longest one, but there's also some smaller tracks that you can do. You can call me whatever you want, but one of the things I'm more scared of when doing these kind of treks around the jungle are snakes. I know this probably my brain not working correctly, because they hear the vibration, they probably escape before you reach them. But I don't know, I can't avoid being scared of stepping onto one by mistake and then dying here. It's not in my plans to die in Honduras. At least this time. Maybe in a few years, who knows. One thing, if you're coming here, don't expect it to be flat. It goes up quite a bit, at least at the beginning. Now that we've climbed quite a bit, the canopy sort of opens, and you can see there in the distance, that's Lake Yojoa. We haven't seen many birds or many animals so far. Maybe we came a bit late. We arrived around 10:15 or something. And I think if you want to see them, probably you need to come earlier on. We know that there's cats in here, and at least one big cat. Based on the picture, I would say it's a puma, but I'm not totally sure. And I'm not sure if it would be good or very bad luck to cross one, but so far we haven't seen any. We have almost reached the summit, and here there's a lookup point where you can see the lake very, very clearly. We have finally reached the cloud forest, and you can feel it's a bit cooler here, although I'm covered in sweat. The vegetation's a bit different, and the forest itself is different, and it's cooler for sure. And you can feel so like we are in a bit of a misty area in the middle of the clouds already. When there's a sign, there's always a reason. And if there's this band that says precaución, it's because someone, you know what happened. We just saw a small brown snake in the middle of the leaves on the side of the trek, and that makes me even more scared than before. Not sure what kind of snake it was, not sure if it was venomous or not, but it makes me scared, I can tell you that. One thing that has surprised me, and especially being where we are, which is literally in the middle of the jungle, is that the trek is pretty well maintained and it's really easy to follow. So it's impossible basically to get lost. There's no indications, but you just follow the trek and you will get it. We found one of the waterfalls, and the guy at the welcome center, he told us we can drink from here, but we cannot swim in it, and that's because this water is what's gonna be drinking by about 40,000 people in 60 or something villages all around Lake Yojoa. So yeah, we could drink from here. We're not gonna do it. We still have a liter left, and the fear of diarrhea is more important than that. So let's continue. And yet one more wobbly bridge. Let's go. They're not very well integrated, but these are the pipes that bring water to the population down in the lake. I think we have reached the best lookup point here in the national park. Canopy all over, around, and there in the distance you can see Lake Yojoa. Beautiful! Now that we just closed the loop and did the whole trek around the jungle, it's a good time to reflect on it. If you're in Lake Yojoa and around it, I think this is a great day activity. It took us around 3 hours and 15 minutes or so, maybe a bit longer. And it's a bit sweaty when you're going up, but when you're flat or going down, it's fine. And unfortunately, we didn't see any animals. That would have been very, very good. We saw a few birds and the snake. I'm not very happy about that one. But the rest, we missed it. So maybe come a bit earlier if you prefer to have more chances to see the animals. But if not, it was a really good experience. Really great to walk here in the jungle absolutely alone. We only crossed one group of people in 3.5 hours, so let that sink in. The waterfall was well worth it, and look at that sunset, it's just gorgeous. So if you come here to Lake Yojoa, which I think you should if you are in Honduras, Don't worry about insecurity, this place is very safe and there's tons of activities if you come as well. If you are into bird watching, there's over 400 species of birds that live in this lake. If you are into hiking, you can do hikes. If you're into mountaineering, there's mountains that go up to almost 3,000 meters, so pretty high up. So you can do a bit of everything if you're here. I really recommend that you come. And if you like the video, please leave a like or leave a comment. Don't worry about insecurity. Don't worry about Honduras being in this frantic state with the maras. Here is safe, you can walk at night, nothing is gonna happen to you. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you again in the next video.